Welcome, folks. I'm Jabby Kuwait, joined by ACHARA KIRK.
What's up?
This is our little spoiler discussion for Avatar: The Way of Water. I don't actually know how long this video is going to be because we've got so many of our feelings out in the previous videos, but I guess we can go into a little bit more detail here. Again, this is spoilers. There might be a stronger emphasis on some of the negative elements of the film in this video, only because we don't get to talk about that stuff in the non-spoiler section. It doesn't mean we don't like the movie. I love this movie, okay? That needs to be ultra clear. But from the beginning, I've been saying there's goofy shit in this film that doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense. And so we might expand on that here and just to kind of remark about it. The very first thing I want to talk about is just the premise of the movie. I kind of talked about it in the non-spoiler discussion, but I want to go into it in more depth here. So the very premise of the film is Jake Sully and his family are being hunted down by Quaritch. He's back from the dead, essentially. He's been revived through a Na'vi body.
Yeah,
right?
it's his cloned mind in a Na'vi avatar.
I thought that idea was awesome. I think it's so cool, and like the idea of infiltrating Pandora through avatars, using what Jake did, where they are really integrating into what the Na'vi environment and whatnot, so that they can take what they want. What stands in their way is Jake Sully. He's the leader of the Na'vi now. They want to take him out. So Jake knows this. So he takes his family and leaves. And so much of this movie is about trying to get Jake Sully. And I'm like, but he's not in the way anymore. Yeah. Why is this movie still about this?
He's left.
Yeah.
He's appointed someone else as a leader.
Yeah.
He's more concerned about saving his family now, and he's not doing these annoying raids that you want to get him for.
Yeah.
So, like, when you asked me that question at the end of the movie, when you were like, okay, so Jake left. Why are they still looking for him? Like, why don't they just achieve the goal that they wanted to achieve? And I was like, stumped.
Yeah.
But as I said to you in the theater, I don't care.
Because while watching it, I was thinking about that a little bit. I'm like, they're spending gobs of money to hunt this guy down.
Yeah.
They're hurting innocent people to hunt this guy down. It's like, the thing you want is way over there. The resource you want is way back there. Why are you still going? This guy's clearly on vacation. Leave him alone. Go get what you want and bounce. I thought it would have been more interesting if, like, he was pulled back to
his tribe. Yeah.
Because they were being attacked and they were defenseless without him or something like that.
That's kind of what I thought might happen, actually, because I'm like, okay, he's left his tribe, and now who's going to protect them? I mean, I'm assuming that he left them in the hands of a good leader. Right? But still, I thought that how would they know that he's left? Wouldn't they just continue to keep trying to find where the tribe is, where the forest Na'vi are, and try and take them out? And then I had this idea of like, oh, maybe he finds out like that his entire tribe has been decimated because they found it, and then like burn the whole thing to the ground, realize that Jake Sully isn't there, and then they're like, oh, now we have to go find him, and then it's like, oh no, all my people. They didn't do that. That's fine.
So the movie deliberately just doesn't answer that question. It focuses on Jake Sully meeting this other tribe who are more in touch with water. In spite of that weird premise that we just mentioned, I really enjoy the exploration of getting to know these people, of getting to know the sea creatures and whatnot, of establishing this one sea creature who's missing a fin that has had like some weird troubled trauma from his past.
Oh, I loved that.
And the connection that, they were able to make, that I forgot the name of the kid. Loak was able to make. I kind of knew where that story was going. I understood right away, like, oh, he's going to get the coolest creature in the sea, basically. How is he going to like connect with his hair into this creature? And like, they really saved that, because it was a question that was in my head for a while, and then he like...
I know, I was like trying to look on the animal. I'm like, where is it? Where's the connection point?
One of the things that I mentioned in the non-spoiler was that there's a certain trope in most James Cameron films that was not explored here. To be fair, it wasn't really explored in Terminator 2 either, but there's always this heavy romantic angle in his movies. It's very, very heavy. And here, they set it up, but they didn't go as deep as they thought they would. Like, I love those moments, like when she's touching his chest and she's going, your heart is beating really, really fast. He's like, okay. And she's like, you gotta slow your heart rate down, but he's having such a hard time because it's this chick that he likes.
Yeah.
I thought that was super cool. I feel like a lot of us dudes know what it's like to be in that situation when a girl you like is really close to you. Your heart starts racing, you have a hard time talking, whatever. I related to all that stuff. What I'm driving at, though, is that they never kiss. Like, they never have Rose's hand touching the window. They never have any of that. In the first Avatar film, there was a whole love scene that happened between Jake Sully and Zoe Saldana.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen here. And so I was like, okay, That's interesting. I don't know if that was on purpose. I don't know if he's saving it for the next movie, but the film didn't need it, I guess. It did such a good job otherwise.
It was really cute. The burgeoning relationship with them, and like even when the girl told her whale spirit sister, I met a boy, you know, like it was really adorable. I don't think we really needed any more than that in this movie. And remember, we still have that relationship between Jake and Neytiri as well. Right. Like I really enjoyed like the intensity of their love for each other and their love for their family.
So speaking of Neytiri, I thought that Zoe Saldana was underutilized in this movie, but there was so much going on. Like, it wasn't like there was a lot of fat in the movie. Maybe it's on the cutting room floor or something like that, but it seemed like Zoe Saldana only came in when some shit went wrong and she needed to be emotional. Like, that was...
or save the day.
Yeah, every scene of hers was like that, where it just, like, every time she showed up, she was upset. I'm like, it's always the same note with her character. She's always upset. If I was Zoe Saldana, I'd be kind of frustrated if, like... So you have another scene where I'm angry. All 20 of her scenes, she's mad about something.
But she's so good. Yeah. I really enjoyed her. I enjoyed her ferocity as both a warrior and a mother. Every time she cries, I'm like, I feel it. You know, maybe she was a little bit underutilized in this movie because she is fantastic. But like we've been saying a lot, there were so many characters. But I feel like they did a good job at like giving everyone their chance to shine in a way and be important in their own right.
The first, I'd say the first 20 minutes of the movie was a little rough for me, but I felt the same way about the first Avatar film.
It's exposition.
It's heavy exposition. The level of exposition is kind of insane in this movie in the first 20 minutes because it's trying to catch you up.
Yeah, because you need to know like what's up with Quaritch, like why he's back because he died.
It wasn't that so much. That actually, I was okay with that. I was fine with the Avatar or the Na'vi version of Quaritch looking at his video, you know, talking to himself, going, if you're watching this, something, something, something. I actually enjoyed that. It was kind of trippy, you know, understanding that the psychology of what the Na'vi version of Quaritch is dealing with. Like, he has weird conflicts because he knows he's a clone.
Yeah, I mean, and that in itself is an interesting question and like an interesting theme. It's like, what makes you you?
I liked that. What I'm talking about is all the stuff with him and his family in the first 20 minutes and him going, you know, basically in the beginning, it was so difficult for me to speak Na'vi, but now it's like English to me. I'm like, oh my God.
That was cool though, because then otherwise it's like, okay, why are they all suddenly speaking English when it's been established that they speak their own language?
I get why. I get why it had to happen. It was just goofy. Like, all of that shit was so goofy to me. I'm like, can we get past this already? Like, once we were past that exposition.
Once they established the rules and the tone of the movie, then you're like, okay, now we're in.
Yeah, because I was just like, I was kind of rolling my eyes a little bit. Once we got back to Quaritch and his Na'vi body, that's actually when I like really jacked into the movie. You know what I mean? Speaking of Quaritch, I really dug all of his conflicts. Like, that's my son, but it's not my son.
It's not my son.
Because I'm a clone, but it's my son. And like him dealing with that, I thought was really neat. His son dealt with the same thing. It's like his son saved him at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And it's like...
Which you knew was gonna happen, right? Because we need him for the next movies too.
It's just interesting that his son saved him because it's like, I couldn't tell if his son saved him because of some sort of like love. Because he never had his father, right? And he sees that this avatar of his dad really cares about him on some level.
Yeah, no, he knows that because when Neytiri was like, fine, a son for a son, and she looked like she was legitimately gonna kill Spider, who's basically like another child of hers, and she would kill him because of, you know, the pain that she felt at losing her eldest son. And then the Quaritch was like, okay, fine. He let Kiri go, right? And so that showed him that his dad actually did care, even though he was a bit of a dick. He got left behind because he was a child, and you can't take children into cryosleep. Cryosleep, yeah.
You said cryo-sleep.
Cryo-sleep. Cryo. It is a weird dilemma because it's like your blood, maybe. Like, he is kind of your dad, even though he has nothing to do with your life. And so I can understand why he just saved his life, but then was like, no, I'm not hanging out with you anymore.
Right. Okay, so Sigourney Weaver as, what's her name?
Kiri.
Kiri, yeah. I really liked the idea of Kiri's character. And I liked what Kiri's character did and explored in this movie. I dug all of that. I thought it was super cool. But every time Kiri spoke and I could hear Sigourney Weaver's voice, or it sounded like Sigourney Weaver to me, it kind of pulled me out a little bit. I'm not going to lie, because all I could think about is, okay, so she is looking at someone who is much younger than her, as an actor who's much younger than her, and calling him dad. And it's like Sam Worthington is half her age and she's calling him dad. And the way she speaks, there's a maturity to her inflection and all that stuff, but her trying to de-age herself as a character, like she did a decent job. It just pulled me out. I wish they used someone else and we just understood the connection.
Maybe it was just James Cameron just wanting to be able to actually physically work with Sigourney Weaver, because her character from the first movie is still there, but she's in a coma.
Yeah.
So he's like, no, I want to work with you. But I thought that the idea was so cool. To have her be this like mysterious child, like where did she come from?
Her character's dope. I think her character's fascinating.
Yeah.
Like even when her character was just sort of studying the sand.
I loved all that stuff. Like I love that she has this special connection to Iowa, and maybe it makes sense that her voice is kind of more mature because she is almost like this otherworldly creature.
I get you, and I did think about that as a justification. It still bothered me though. I get it. No, I agree. Like that makes sense. She's several orders of magnitude above everybody else including Jake. Like she's several orders of magnitude beyond everyone else. She is like the Avatar, like Aang, that last airbender. Like she is that level because like the things that she's able to do is crazy. She connects to the plant that almost kills her, and she connects to it again later and is like wielding this power, wielding the forces of the sea. That all of that, and we're just getting like the infancy of it, right?
Yeah.
Like in the chapters to come, I can only imagine how crazy it's gonna get.
Yeah.
All of that is dope. It just pulled me out when I heard her voice. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That's all.
Yeah. I really enjoyed that Jemaine Clement was in this movie. But I was also just kind of like, he's so cool. Why couldn't you do more with Jemaine?
I think they did a pretty good amount with him.
I think I just wanted him to just be Kiwi. I'm like, why are you doing a goofy American accent?
Oh, I enjoyed it. I thought he was cool as Dr. Garvin. Like, I thought he actually did a really good job of being that character. A little bit on the nose. It was like, he's there to be the moral compass, like, and go, this is wrong.
Yeah.
You know, like...
This is wrong. We shouldn't be hunting these creatures because they're sentient and amazing.
And he's not the focus of the movie, but what they could have done to improve his story was he turns on his team. He never did that.
That's true.
You know? And
not directly.
They needed a moment where he's like,
this is wrong.
This is clearly wrong, and I cannot assist with this any further. At least put his hands up and be like, you want to do this? I'm not involved. But he never had that moment. He was just sort of observing like, we're fucked. You know, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this is a good thing. We're all going to get screwed. This is what's supposed to happen because we're the bad guys.
But like, you'll die.
Right. And it's cool to have his commentary on the situation. I just wish that we actually saw a pivot from him that was in line with his morals. You know what I mean? That's all. But we never got it. That would have been
interesting.
But like with him, we got the very overt messaging of the film of like, I'm just going to call them whales because I don't remember the name of the creature, but they got the whale, the mother whale, to extract from her brain secret sauce to keep humans alive forever, right?
Yeah.
The elixir of life. After that, they just disposed of the whale.
This is reminiscent of whale hunting that used to happen.
For perfume.
For their blubber. Like you literally just take what you want, throw away the rest. And it's like very much in line with like the Native American thinking of like when they kill a buffalo, they use
the entire buffalo,
right?
Yeah.
And there was a part where the kid was like, what do you do with the rest of it? And they're like, oh, we don't need it. And they just throw it away.
Yeah.
It's so sad. I mean, it's there to remind us of like human greed and what we do to the environment.
I just really appreciate the fact that James Cameron spent a considerable amount of effort trying to illustrate to the audience, mainly like children who are like, you know, are going to grow up knowing this or being more aware of this, that the ocean's really important and we're fucking with it and we keep messing with it and we're very disrespectful of it. The messaging is extremely overt in this movie, but I didn't mind it because I feel like it's crucial. It's super important that kids are aware of this, and hopefully it inspires more oceanic travels for, you know, kids and stuff like that, and they get inspired in that direction as opposed to just being an influencer. You know what I mean?
Speaking of the oceanic stuff and like conserving, there was a little part of me that kind of flinched a little bit every time they went swimming and the kids and stuff were touching the coral reef and all that. Like, I've never been scuba diving, but I have heard that you're not meant to touch the coral because it actually kills it. So I was a little bit like, that was interesting. Maybe I might be wrong. I might have some wrong information, but
I don't know. But there was a scene in the movie where Loak, when he was, you know, swimming for his life
from that shark thing.
Yeah, when he was isolated because the kids basically left him behind.
Yeah,
that was a very exhilarating scene.
Yeah, that was harrowing.
I thought that they did such a good job there, and you know, you understand the conundrum built in because he's trying to breathe, and like he's trying to hold his breath rather, and it's like that is harrowing because like you already think about trying to run from a monster.
Yeah.
But to run from a monster and you have to hold your breath, it compounds the situation dramatically.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
And you're like, can I go? And then finally you're like, I just have to go.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to die. Either way, I'm going to die. Yeah, it was a very good scene.
I guess the last thing that we can kind of talk about is some of the acting from the film. I didn't recognize Kate Winslet, Ronal. I don't remember who that is, but Curtis.
That's the Cliff Curtis's wife.
Well, she did a great job. I didn't realize it was her.
I thought it was really cute what they did. They gave her character a little mole, just
really?
like Kate Winslet has, but it was like so faint. Like if you really looked for it, you're like, that's the Kate Winslet mole. That's Kate Winslet.
I didn't realize.
Yeah, but she did a really great job. She didn't seem like Kate Winslet at all.
I thought Cliff Curtis did a really good job as Tonowari. It took me a while to realize it was him.
Yeah.
You know, because I have a hard time recognizing the real life counterpart.
They look so different.
Exactly. But he did a really good job of just that character. I bought into him. I bought into the whole cast. Let's just say that. But what I thought was interesting with Cliff Curtis is that, you know, there's a moment in the movie where they want to get back at the Sky People.
Yeah.
And they start doing the
haka.
The haka. And I'm like, oh, wow, like they brought that in this movie.
No, I love how they incorporated the Maori traditions into this tribe.
Yeah.
Like you could see the influence definitely with like the tattoos and the clothing and stuff like that.
Right.
And the accents and whatnot. I was like, yeah, that's cool. I like it.
Yeah. No, I thought that overall, you know, while there's goofy stuff as mentioned in this video, it was a fantastic adventure. I really enjoyed the shit out of it, and I hope to go back and watch it in a non-HFR presentation. You guys, thanks so much for hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Let us know your feelings in the comments below. Sorry if I said a nitpicky, but this is my opportunity to get into the nitty-gritty of stuff that I didn't get to talk about before. I'm Jabby Kuwait. This is
ACHARA KIRK.
Peace out.